Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Ryan, I do want to start this podcast on a very sad note. Last night, as you learned, Ryan, the plane that crashed in Washington, D.C., we just learned that U.S. figure skaters and family members and coaches were among those on the plane that crashed. So, again, Ryan and I extend our thoughts and prayers to the victims and the families affected by this terrible tragedy.
Yeah, just a horrible incident last night. Of course, I learned about it right when I got home from work. So just really unfortunate turn of events. If you saw the video last night, I'm sure a lot of you probably have by this time. But yeah, just obviously prayers go out to everybody involved, from the pilots, everybody on the plane, all the family members that were involved. So definitely prayers go out to them.
All right, that's Ryan Renner. I'm Phil Becerra. Thank you, KK. And in this podcast, we are going to break down the game, Ryan, that we have coming up on Sunday against Butler. And you will be following that game with the game recap. Let's check in, like always, score predictions. We'll save them for last and who wins this one. Ryan, what do you have? Butler comes in. Kylan McGuff leads the way, coached by Austin Parkinson. And this group, they find themselves toward the bottom of the Big East. Although we have to remember we can't underestimate any team. What are the Huskies going to do on Sunday?
Well, of course, the Huskies coming off a win against DePaul in the Windy City, in which they closed out the month of January. And now we head into the month of February, where UConn is returning to the XL Center to take on Butler for the first time this year. Butler, the only Big East opponent UConn has not faced yet this season. And after this game, they will begin playing teams the second time around in the conference. Butler Bulldogs 12 and 11 on the year, only 2 and 8 like you mentioned in Big East play, which puts them towards the bottom of the standings. Now, Butler hasn't really been good, to be honest. The past 4 or 5 years they have been at the bottom for some time now. They've been without fifth-year guard Caroline Strand for about a month now. She is still their leading scorer, but she has only played 13 games this season. Senior guard Kylan McGuff from the Belmont Bruins has been averaging almost 12 points for Butler this year. And after that, there really hasn't been much production from this team. That's honestly been much of Butler's problem, their lack of offense and a real shooting threat out on the floor. Now, they do only have 10 healthy players as well this year, which really hasn't helped their case. Third year coach Austin Parkinson coaching Butler in his third year. I'm not sure it's a season he was looking for, as they've been a little worse than they were from last year's team. But hopefully they can turn it around towards the end of the year. Of course, they have a tough one in this game against UConn. Huskies have been perfect so far in Big East play. Perhaps their final tune-up game before the big one against Tennessee as they travel to take on the Volunteers. And like I said in the recap, I expect Page to bounce back in this one. Might be another one of those games where UConn pulls away quite early. We'll probably see everybody play in this game, but I'm expecting a couple things to change in terms of the lineup for the Tennessee game after this one.
I can't wait. No disrespect to Butler, but Ryan, you said it right. This is like maybe not scrimmage. I don't want to take it that far, but man, this is a big one. This is a big game Sunday because to me, it gets them prepared for the next one. Don't look now. We all know that you can't wait. Ryan and I can't wait. Ryan, it's going to get very exciting fast. I've been waiting for this month of February for a long time. You know that. All right, let's go over to comments, Ryan, from the last video. Thank you again, Ryan, for coming on that last game recap. Grobel said that Paul set a record for attendance of 8,305. Their season average, not including the UConn game, is 1,670. Attended the game, has to suck to be at home, and 75% of the people are for the other team. I feel like that happens a lot, Ryan, when UConn travels.
Yeah, I did see that the other night, and yeah, it's a little unfortunate for all of UConn's opponents. And like I say, I feel like in all the game recaps, I always talk about, before I get into the actual recap about how the UConn fans always travel well, and there's sometimes a lot more UConn fans on the road rather than the home team, whoever they're playing. So definitely a little unfortunate for the away teams, given how the UConn fans always come out and travel with the team.
Gary Roundtree, hi out there, and I love to be real about the game. I can't wait to see them play South Carolina and Tennessee. Very interesting. Let me say this. I've seen some high school ball players out there that Coach Gino is checking out. He better go after these girls, bring them to UConn that I've seen on YouTube and on my phone recruiting them. Why South Carolina wants them bad. UConn sign these girls. Don't play with this coach Gino. I mean, hey, Ryan, we talked about an episode every single day during the off season. We're going to try our best. And along with that, Ryan, it's going to a lot of news coming. A lot of news for you and I. A lot of new basketball players, lady basketball players on the horizon around this time of the year.
Well, yeah, of course, that's one of the first things during the off season. It's always exciting to talk about the new players that we already have locked in coming out of high school as they begin their freshman journey on this team. And of course, it's always exciting to talk about the new players that we might get during the off season, whether it's from the transfer portal or in this case, like you said, the recruits coming out of high school. I know I saw the other day UConn, I believe, still in the running for Agat McKeer, so that would be a big one if UConn can land her.
All right, one more, Ryan. Let's go to the buy them for the gum. Yep, backwards. Page was not good tonight. They lost the second and fourth quarter. It's concerning. No big post play. So, what is the plan? Just get everybody playing time. One post, three, the bench gets excited. Very sad, a rare event.
Yeah, I think for the post play, like we've been talking about, Jana and Ice really haven't had quite the seasons they've been looking for, the coaching staff's been looking for. Like I said during the game recap, I think Ice had a pretty good game, but Jana, she started to play well when she got in the starting lineup, and then the past couple games now, maybe the past three or four even, really hasn't had much production, but like we also talked about when I did the comments, Gino doesn't really run specific plays for Jana or Ice to really get the ball. So, most of the time in terms of scoring, it's really up to Jana and Ice to really their teammates to pass them
Hmm.
the ball inside and for them to try to make a play on their own to score.
All right, here we go, Ryan, from the XL Center on Sunday, the 2nd, 1 o'clock. Butler Bulldogs, Connecticut Huskies, number 6, Connecticut Huskies. Who wins and the score?
Yeah, I mean, I think this another pretty easy one for UConn. Probably another 30-point win somewhere in that range. I can't see Butler being able to do much on the offensive side of things. I think this is another game where UConn probably gets close to about 15 steals somewhere in that range. So I'll go UConn 88, Butler 49 in this one.
Ooh, not even hitting the 50 mark. I love it, Ryan. All right, I'll go UConn all over Butler. Final score 88 to 50. How about that? I'll give you 1 point up, Ryan. 88 to 50, UConn over Butler. And I can't wait to see, back here, I have to tell you very quickly, Ryan, back here at home in Frederick City, we have every year, it's the first Saturday of February, I believe it's called Fire and Ice. They'll be out and about downtown. They get their shots out, they get their liquor, they're drinking all night. Maybe some of the sculptures fall over and break on the sidewalk. You never know. But hey, shout out to the people who actually make them, because hey, Ryan, I couldn't do that. I don't know if you could, but it's actually, it's stuff made out of ice. So you got like big teacups sitting on the side of the road and stuff. But That's actually this Saturday, so they'll be out and about. And the reason I bring that up, Ryan, how does it make you feel going downtown, riding around? Does it make you feel like you're in Yukon Winter Wonderland?
Yeah, well, when you have the cold breeze blowing in through the windows, it's maybe it kind of does remind you of downtown Connecticut when we went when it's only about 5 or 10 degrees outside. So yeah, it's it maybe it reminds us a little bit of of what's to come in postseason basketball as we're winding down towards the end of the regular season here.
All right, like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate each and every one of you. We love you all from Frederick City all the way to Yukon, Connecticut, Hartford, all over. Phil and Rye on Listen Up.